Welcome to another session of Understanding Human Anatomy. I'd like to continue discussion of the ankle and foot, and in particular discuss the ligaments that help hold the skeletal structure of these areas together. Now, in a previous video, I spent some time talking about the arches of the foot. And we're looking at a sketch of the plantar side of the ankle and foot's skeletal anatomy. I want to sketch in the ligament that supports the arch and maintains the arch. This is the spring ligament, or the plantar calcaneal-navicular ligament. And so it runs from the calcaneus to the navicular bone. And let me fill that in. So this is the plantar calcaneal-navicular ligament, which is also known as the spring ligament. And that is right here. Then I want to sketch in another ligament that runs from the navicular to the cuneiforms. And this ligament is the plantar cuneiform navicular ligament. And this ligament, the plantar cuneo-navicular ligament, runs from navicular to each of the cuneiform bones. These two ligaments are particularly important in supporting the arch. The spring ligament is the most important. I want to show another view, and that would be a view from the medial side. So we'll change slides here. So here is a view from the medial side, and I'm going to sketch in first the spring ligament. This is the plantar calcaneal-navicular ligament, and then I'll sketch in the other ligament, the cuneo-navicular ligament. And let me add some labels to our diagram. spring ligament And then over here, I'll type a label. The plantar cuneo navicular ligament. And we'll connect a line up to it. And you can see how these ligaments will help support the arch. So here's our arch. And these ligaments keep the bones from separating and support our arch. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that the arch is important because it acts as a shock absorber. Let me go to another slide and we'll see how that works. So, if we start, let's put a highly schematic arch here, and this would be how it would look in a foot just before we touch down on the ground. So, and I'm going to exaggerate it a little, well, more than a little bit. I'm going to exaggerate it greatly so that you can see what's going on here. So this is what the arch would look like before it touches the ground. And this black line at the bottom of the screen, we can consider the ground. Now, as the foot touches down, on the ground and weight is transferred to that foot, what we'll see is that the arch flattens out. It becomes much less of an arch as it is absorbing the weight. And then as we continue the step, the arch will rebound and get the deep arch that we had at the beginning. So we have a deep arch, then as the foot touches down and weight is applied to that foot, the arch flattens down and then recoils. So it is absorbing the shock of all our weight coming down on that one foot with each step. And then it gives back some of that energy and rebounds up. And thus cushions our walking, cushions the body lying above the foot to make it easier to walk, especially long distances. Without a well-supported arch, what will happen is minor walking, very little walking, will become extremely painful. So this is how the arch acts like a spring. It actually acts like a leaf spring. If you look under an automobile, you'll see steel in this arch shape with the axle attached, and whenever the car hits a bump, the spring helps absorb the shock of that bump. It acts similarly as we walk. So now let's go back to the first slide and fill in some more ligaments on the plantar surface. Now, I want to start down here by sketching in the short plantar ligament, or the calcaneal cuboid ligament. That would be in this position. And this is running between the calcaneus and the cuboid bones. The plantar calcaneal cuboid ligament, and that is the ligament that runs between the calcaneus and the cuboid bone. Then I want to sketch in the long plantar ligament, and I'm going to use a different color because it's going to overlie the short plantar ligament. And it starts fairly posterior on the calcaneus. Then it passes up, covering over most of the short plantar ligament, and will actually attach to the base of metatarsals 3 and 4, and onto the cuboid, and then back onto the calcaneus. So this is the long plantar ligament. Now, I'm going to add a tendon to the diagram, and I'm going to put that in a different color yet so that it stands out. And this is the tendon of peroneus longus or fibularis longus, depending on which name you prefer. This is a muscle that originates off the fibula in the leg, and it passes down, and its tendon passes down to the plantar surface of the foot, and it passes just dorsal to the long plantar ligament, at least the medial portion of it. Now let me color this in. And you can see that this tendon runs all the way over to the first metatarsal. And this tendon, since it loops underneath the arch of the foot, helps support the arch as well. So let me draw the label in here. So in orange here is the tendon of fibularis or peroneus longus. So this is a view of the ligaments on the plantar side of the foot, and in particular you can see the spring ligament, which supports the medial arch of the foot. In the next videos, we'll look at the remainder of the ligaments of the ankle and foot. Thank you for your attention.